So closing the track in our tech track today, we'll move back to AI with Andras Palfi, who is a machine learning consultant at UiPath. Experienced in solving world business problems using data science and machine learning, Andras will show us how to deploy, consume, and improve machine learning models using UiPath's AI Fabric platform. We will also see how combining machine learning and RPA enables software robots to make decisions. So thank you for joining us, Andras. You have the stage.
Thank you very much for the introduction, Matej. Thank you for joining me in, I think it's the last session you said, today's last session. So thank you very much for your patience and welcome again to Big Data Week. Welcome to my living room. And as Matej perfectly said, I'm going to try to tell you about a product of ours called AI Fabric, which basically allows you to very easily launch machine learning models into production and integrate them into your automation workflows, into your RPA workflows. But the talk itself is going to be focused around machine learning. So if you don't have any experience or any knowledge about RPA, don't worry. You should be able to understand everything that I'm going to talk about today. So let me just start sharing my screen. So the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to start off with a quick presentation. Let me just move this thing over to my other screen. So I'm going to start with a quick presentation. Then I'm going to do a quick product demo as well. So I really don't want to bore you with PowerPoint slides at this late moment in the day. So let me just start my presentation and let's quickly go through this. So I just want to give you like some background into what AI Fabric is. So a little bit of background about RPA itself. RPA is robotic process automation. It's basically robots that are able to perform simple tasks. And our idea was that why shouldn't we also try to introduce some machine learning skills into these robots in order to give them the capability to make decisions. Similarly as a person would. So instead of having robots that just click on stuff and interact with UI elements and move data from one place to another, for example, let's have robots that are actually able to make decisions and predictions and able to like aid humans in their decision-making process. And that's exactly why we developed this machine learning model deployment platform. And our goal with this particular platform is to be able to deploy, consume, manage, and improve machine learning models. Basically, to make the whole life cycle of machine learning model deployment and management as easy as possible. Okay, so let's have a quick overview. And then I'm actually going to go into the demo itself and show you the platform, how it works, and how it actually enables you to like very easily interact with machine learning models. So this platform is really aimed at people who it's really aimed at basically making it easier for you to interact, first of all, interact with machine learning models, and also make it easier for you as a developer to put machine learning models into production. I wouldn't go as far as to say that it's like a citizen machine learning platform, citizen data scientist machine learning platform, where you just click on stuff and you don't need to have any type of machine learning knowledge, because those things don't really exist, to be honest, and it's really hard to do to have that type of platform. So what you're seeing right here is basically the main functionality of what AI Fabric the main functionalities of AI Fabric. So AI Fabric basically allows you to choose a model, deploy it, drag it into your automation workflows. I'm going to show you what an automation workflow is, and then use that model to make decisions. And what's very important and what our differentiator is as an automation platform is that we also enable you to have this human-robot interaction and human and machine learning model interaction using some other products of ours. And that's what I want to show you in today's demo. So I'm going to give you a quick overview on what type of machine learning models we have. Basically, we have some of our own machine learning models that we developed in-house. These are aimed at specifically processing documents because the document processing space is very important for us as a company. Like, it's a strategic investment that we made in developing models that are able to process documents. But we also put all sorts of open source machine learning models onto our platform and made it very easy to interact with these models. And I'm going to show you how that works. Yeah, so here actually you can get a quick overview of the type of models that we have. So we have some models that are able to process all sorts of documents. And when I mean process, it actually, what these models do is they take a document and they extract certain pieces of information from them. So instead of manually having to look at the scan of an invoice, instead you could send it to our model, and that model would extract like important pieces of information from it, like the sum, the tax amount, the address of a company, and so forth. And we have some other open source models as well, like language detection, language translation, sentiment analysis, and so forth. So the whole purpose is to make it very easy to get started with machine learning, and then make it very easy to integrate these machine learning models into your automation workflows. So I think that's good enough for an intro. I think we can jump into the demo right away. So let me just bring up a virtual machine. And let me just show you the platform itself, how it looks like. And then I'm going to show you the demo as well. So I should have a tab opened here. OK, not this one. Let me just zoom it again. OK, I should have, yeah, this one. OK. So what you're seeing on my screen right now is actually AI Fabric. And all of these little boxes here are machine learning projects that I have created in AI Fabric. And let me just quickly show you how easy it is to create a machine learning project of your choice. So let's say I want to do a text classification project. Project to classify emails. OK, let's create this project. And you'll see right away that a machine learning project is structured of several different components. I have data sets. This is where I actually store a data set that machine learning models are trained on, that machine learning models consume. Then I have the ML packages section, in which we actually store different packages that you can use. So here we either enable you to upload your own machine learning model, and there's a certain way that you have to structure your Python code to be able to deploy it on AI Fabric. It's very easy to do. It's just some repackaging that you have to do on your already existing Python model. But we also, as I said, have some out-of-the-box packages. So these are packages that we already created for you. Some of them have been created by our own engineers. So these are proprietary machine learning models. And some of them we've taken from the open source community. So for example, we have an English text classification model that was actually done by, released by Facebook AI. and it's actually based on a deep learning architecture called Roberta. So let's say we want to build a model that's able to classify text. How can we do that using AI Fabric? Well, the first thing that I have to do is to choose the package that I want to use for my machine learning. In my case, I want to build a classification model. So I just choose the package, text classification, and I click on submit. And then I just have to leave some documentation. Let's call this package the text classification package, and click submit. Okay, and then the next thing I have to do is to upload some data set that I'm going to be able to train this package on. With a package, I keep calling these things packages. They're basically just machine learning models, but we just call them packages because they have been packaged in a certain way and put into AI Fabric, onto AI Fabric. So the second thing is to upload some data, and I have already prepared a CSV file here on my desktop. So I can just create a new folder. Let's call this email data. Create a folder and upload a file into this folder. And I'm also going to show you how this file looks like. So this is the CSV file, contains your training data. Let me quickly show you how it looks like. So this training data is basically, it's a CSV that has two columns. It has a columns with the all the emails, and it has another column called target column with the different classes that the emails have been classified into. Now, this is the actual data that I'm going to use to train a machine learning model on, to train that Roberta machine learning model on. So it's a very simple structure. This is the way that package expects the data to be structured. So if I go back to AI Fabric, you'll see that the data set has already been uploaded. I have my package ready. And now all I have to do is to create a training pipeline. A training pipeline is actually the process when you train your chosen package. So I need to choose which package I want to train, what's the version of the package, what's the data set that I'm training, whether I want to use GPU or not, and press on create. And it automatically going to start training this particular package. And as soon as the training is ready, I will be able to launch that trained model into production and then integrate it into my automation of workflow. And I actually, this training pipeline usually takes a couple of minutes, like 10 minutes or 15 minutes. So what I did is, like, you know, in the cooking shows, I already have one of these projects already prepared, and it's actually this one. It's basically the same, exactly the same data, and you can see it's the same complaint classification package because these are customer complaints. I have several pipelines, training pipelines that I have run. I have ran. One of them failed because I made some errors in the data, but two of them were successful. And after training the package, I actually deployed it into production. Now, this is where the fun actually begins. Once you have your model deployed, you can start to actually use that model in your automations. So as I said, that particular model was about email classification and particularly customer complaints. So let's think of a use case where we have an inbox in which customers are complaining about different products of ours. And this particular example is about customers complaining about financial products. It's like an open source data set in which different customers are complaining about different financial products like checking accounts, debt collection, and so on. However, myself as a company, I have no idea what they are complaining about. And because of that, I want to be able to train a machine learning model to be able to automatically classify them into these categories and route them to the right department that can handle these complaints. And now I can do that because, as you have seen on AI Fabric, I deployed that model into production. And now I'm able to access it from Studio. So what you're seeing right here on my right-hand side is our Studio. This is our product, and this is the actual piece of software that we use to build your automation. And think of it as having all sorts of different components that you drag into your workflow and create an automation. And as you can see, it actually looks like a workflow. So the robot is going to do all these steps. Let me maybe zoom in so you can see it better. Okay. So it's an actual, it looks like a workflow. So you got to start, and the robot is going to do all these different steps and is actually going to log into this email account, into Outlook. It's going to read this main inbox, and it's going to route these emails into these subcategories. And how is it going to do that? Well, using that machine learning model that we have just launched in AI Fabric. So let me just bring up one more thing that I want to show you. So the way that you interact with machine learning models using our Studio is very easy. You have this component here called ML skill. And this is actually the activity which allows you to choose which machine learning model you want to use in your automation. And you see I have a whole list of machine learning models that have already been deployed into production. So all I need to do is just choose the right machine learning model for my automation. I can even quickly test it to see what this machine learning model gives me as an output. It says, I need to send it a text that needs to be classified. So let's say I hate my bank account. I hate my bank account. It's terrible, or something like that. And let's test it. Okay. So it says, the model says that, okay, this particular piece of text is about the checkings or savings account, and I'm 85% confident. Okay, so it works. Now all I have to do to be able to use this machine learning model is to send it some text, and I'm going to back a prediction. And that's exactly what we're going to do in this workflow. I'm going to send this model some emails that I'm going to read from this particular inbox, and I'm going to process them one by one. So now if I start my automation here, let's click on start. You'll see these emails being processed one by one and routed. I don't know how visible it is. Sorry if it's like really tiny writing. Maybe I can maximize this. Can I zoom in? Not really. Anyway, you can see that the emails are slowly disappearing from here and are being routed to subfolders based on the decision that machine learning model made. Now, there's one more important thing to remember. These machine learning predictions come with a confidence score. Now, what happened if the confidence score isn't, let's say, high enough? It doesn't pass a certain threshold. Where in that case, what we can do is have that human machine learning model interaction, meaning that the machine learning model isn't confident enough. We can have a human in the loop using another product of ours called Action Center. So let me just quickly log in because I can see I have been logged out. No, I don't want to log out. Okay. Let me log in. So what you're seeing right here on my screen is another product of ours called Orchestrator. And as I said, what happened here one of the emails you see wasn't processed because the model is not able to decide what this email is, what this customer is complaining about. So what we did, we actually created an action and said that let's send this email to a person to validate it, because our machine learning model wasn't able to decide what this email is about. And you can see right here in our orchestrator that we actually created a validation action. Now, this is an action that you can assign to a certain user, a certain SME. And what will they have to do is actually log into orchestrator and take this action and complete and do something with it. In our particular use case, what we need to do is actually look at the text of the body of the email. We can see that the model thought that this email was about vehicle loan or lease, and it has a very low confidence. And of course, if I start reading the message, I'm going to see that payment plan, Speedy Cash. Yeah, just because I got the name Speedy Cash here, I can already tell that this is probably a payday loan. So it's definitely not a vehicle loan. This customer is complaining about the payday loan. I can click submit, confirm. So as soon as I do that, what's going to happen? I can start my robot again, and now my robot will be able to process that email as well, because a person validated it. And the last email, I think the model again had a low confidence and couldn't decide what that email was about. So if we go back here, we'll see we should have another task, email to classified task. You can see that there's all sorts of tasks that have been created in this particular folder. Let me check. Did it actually create a task? No, anyway. That's because the actual, so the next question is, what happens with all that data that the person, that these people, that people are validating, this validation data? What happens is you can actually take that data and using this activity, let's say, okay, this activity, which allows you to choose all sorts of different projects and customer complaints, training data. This activity allows you to feed that feedback data, that human feedback data, back into AI Fabric. So back into our platform. And go to data sets, training data. So you can see there's all this new data that has been fed back into the model, that human validation data. And what you can do is now actually retrain your classifier on that new human validated data in order to improve the model's accuracy. And of course, this is a very, very important feature of our product, being able to have these robots help people in their decision-making process. You've seen here that we actually automated this email classification task. You would be surprised how many departments and how many companies are still doing these types of tasks manually. And we've been able to create a machine learning model that classified these emails automatically. And then when the machine learning model wasn't able to pick up the classification task, then we routed it to a person. And then we collected that validation data and fed it back into AI Fabric. So we are now able to retrain the model in the hopes of making it more accurate. So I think we can pretty much conclude my presentation right there. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Let me just stop sharing my screen.
Thank you very much, Andras. We actually have a few questions for you.
Oh, great.
The first one is if you support the Open Neural Network Exchange format in your platform.
So I only support, we only support Python models built in Python. So anything built on top of TensorFlow or scikit-learn or the main like deep learning and machine learning frameworks in Python. PyTorch as well we support.
Okay, on to the second question. It's whether you can have multiple models simultaneously in production.
Yes, exactly. I mean, as you've seen, I had a whole list of models there, and I chose the one that I wanted to use for this particular demo, which was the complaint classification one. And that's the whole idea. Imagine that you're a data scientist. You expose all of these models onto AI Fabric. You have like a classification model, a sentiment analysis model, anything that is related to your business. And then you have your RPA developers who are actually able to use these machine learning models in their automation workflows and build like workflows that are able to help people in their decision-making process.
Okay, thank you. And the final one is whether you can automate a batch of processes or emails instead of just one by one.
Yeah, so you could definitely send a batch of data to AI Fabric and get back a batch prediction. You don't have to do it one by one. This is just for demo purposes because I don't know, it looks better when those emails are disappearing there. But yeah, you can do batch processing as well.
Well, Andras, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention.
So guys, with this, we have actually reached the end of our online conference. Thank you very much, everybody, for attending. I hope that you have enjoyed our presentations at least as much as I did, and actually got some valuable insights from today's talks. Before we call it a day, I'd like to invite you to have another round in the exposition area. That's exactly how you've been doing it in the good old days, so it should be fine. It was a pleasure having you here, and we look forward to seeing you all again at the next edition of Bucharest Big Data Week. Thanks again, everybody, and have a great evening. Bye.